Hello and welcome to a commentary channel. Content varies. I have a go at anything and everything. I've uploaded thousands of videos, and if you search my channel you might find a subject that perhaps interests you. Now, I've been away and I only got back yesterday. I've been away for nearly 3 weeks, staying with my youngest child who's in his late 30s. Unfortunately, my youngest suffers, like me, some mental health issues, namely anxiety. But we got to talking about the world, and my son is probably in a very dark place, but I understand where he's coming from. And really it's about capitalism. It's about the world we live in, the Western world of capitalism, and about money. Houses are becoming so unaffordable. Where I live, you're looking at $1 million for a house. What young person nowadays has $1 million? But here's the thing. We've been sold this lie that money matters, and it does. We can't buy anything without money. We can't do anything without money. But at what cost is capitalism? At what cost? We just have, the elite, and then everybody else is a worker. Or, like, if you want to go back to the Middle Ages, we're just serfs. SERFS. Now, let's have a look at the common man, human. What tends to happen? Go through school, you either then get into a trade, get a job, maybe you go to uni, or maybe you're unlucky and you're forced to live on welfare. And I've spent most of my life on welfare. But welfare won't buy you anything. But let's look at the person who is working. Do you know, right, money pays the rent, money pays the mortgage, money pays for food, money pays medical expenses, dentist. Even if you have a dog, you pay exorbitant fees to the vet because everyone's out to make a buck. But what is sacrificed at making the buck? Relationships. What's the point of being in a relationship? This is what my son and I discussed. Love is sacrificed because, say you're 20 and you're working, and say you met someone at 20, and say you get married, which is very young nowadays for someone to get married. But in my day, I got married, I was 19 and had my first child by 20 and was a stay-at-home mum for most of my life, went to uni, blah, blah, blah. But relationships are being sacrificed. So you have a love interest at 20, but when you marry that person, you decide, we're going to buy a house. And you live with that person and you have bills. And to make ends meet, you've got to work. And you're working like 40-hour weeks for very little money. If you can afford a house, you're very lucky. But by the time you the day ends, you're stuffed because you've been depending on your job, you've been dealing with who knows what, and I'll get back to jobs in a minute. But you decide, say you're a husband, you've married this wife, and your wife has children. Not only are you sacrificing time with your wife because you come home from a long day's work, the last time you feel like doing is putting effort into this relationship that you now have. And maybe by now you've had kids, and maybe because you're working for this buck, to earn your money, you've got your kids in aftercare, daycare, and you're paying someone else to look after your kids. Before you know it, your kids are 20. Where was your quality time as a father or a parent figure? And before you know it, life has gone by. Maybe you got lucky and you did pay your mortgage off from working, but at the end of your life, you're here married to this person that you never spent quality time with, so you don't even know who they are. Not only are your relationships like that sacrificed, so is blood. What do I mean by blood? I mean siblings, I mean mother, father. So, let's just take my daughter for example, who works very hard as a nurse. And she's married, second marriage, and has quite a few children. And she does spend quality time with her children, but it's her children, her little nucleus is just her, a husband and the children, and once they're grown, they go to start their family, and parents are just left behind. In the Western world, we have it so wrong. We don't, unlike Eastern cultures where family is important, we are so busy being capitalists, chasing the buck, that our relationships suffer. My daughter, who is in her early 40s, I'm lucky if I see my daughter once a week. I'm lucky if I see her once a month. The same with my second son. I get phone calls. It's easy now because you've got a mobile phone. So once upon a time, we used to make an effort. We used to make an effort to go and see our loved ones. But my daughter has, for example, her family, so her little nucleus family comes first, then her friends, then her mother. And my youngest son said it shouldn't be like that. Family should come first. And I said, I'll just take the crumbs because at least I've got something. I just want to sidetrack a little bit. You all know my cleaner comes from Nepal. Now, Nepal is very heavy Hinduism, and families do matter. At the moment, my cleaner's husband's in Nepal because he's a son and his parents are ailing, and the expectation in Nepal is family comes first, then your wife. So I understand what my son was saying. This person that we all get married to, have a relationship with, is not blood. Yet we sacrifice our blood to be with a stranger who we decide we fall in love with. But what is falling in love when we don't even spend quality time with them because we're too busy chasing a buck? But when you come to the bottom line, when we realize that this is all a simulation, that we're living in a simulation, it kind of becomes meaningless, doesn't it? Here we are busy little avatars trying to make money. And money is an imaginary thing, because if we all rushed the banks right now to get our savings, the banks would go bust. They don't have our money. Money, piece of paper, put so much worth in a piece of paper. Might as well say my glasses or a stone, is worth $10. I really wish society was not built on money, but was built on trade. Like, okay, if you look after or teach my child, I'll sew your clothes, or I'll go and tender your garden. Why don't we have communities where families together in a community, and we all change roles? Sometimes we are cooks, sometimes we go out in the garden, the times we do labour. At least we are united. Now, some of you watching me having a go at capitalism may say, well, the only alternative is communism. Now, I just want to say something about communism and how we have it so wrong. China, Russia, we think, they're communists, so, the government has total control over everything. No, in Russia, it's 50-50. The government owns half and the citizens own half. So why have we been so scared of communist ideas? I'll tell you why. Because communism is equality. There are no classes. So the people who want us to be scared of communism are the actual people in power, or the elite. When, as a communist, we have no classes, we are all equal. Sorry about that, my face just disappeared behind a security thing. So when eventually all our jobs are going to be taken over by AI. It's getting so clever. I went to ChatGPT because I was having a medical issue. ChatGPT named what was possibly wrong with me and all the tests that I should have done, including blood tests, including scans, blah, blah, blah. Chat can easily have replaced my doctor. When I was suing my old doctor, I also used ChatGPT. ChatGPT, okay, sometimes it makes mistakes, but if you're very specific, replace a lawyer. One of my sons works dealing with insurance, answering people who got insurance. AI can do that. The only thing that perhaps AI cannot do is like a dentist and nurses, but it won't be long before it can do that too. But doctors, scientists, and people, lawyers, obsolete with AI. ChatGPT is so clever. Sorry for sidetracking there, but all this, I've lost you again. Another thing came up. Sorry. I just wanted you to know, have a think. We are in a simulation. We definitely are. And here we are chasing money. Do you know, it's going to come, why I brought up how clever chat was, it's going to come a time that we'll be doing other things, maybe art for money, maybe making pottery, going or drawing, writing, a leisure, a hobby, an activity. When AI replaces jobs, what have we got left? Perhaps to put on special equipment so we can go into a simulation. And whoever made this simulation, it's a cosmic joke, seeing little avatars run around trying to make money. My grandchildren will never afford a house. And let's even look at cars. Once upon a time, a car was affordable, but even a second-hand car now, $10,000. Anyway, I've just shared a lot of stuff, and I'm very grateful that things were affordable in my day, but they're not now, and I feel very sorry for the world we've left our descendants. Not only are things unaffordable, resources limited, we're still polluting the air with fossil fuels. When Tesla had invented something that was clean and would have powered the whole world for 1,000 years. But you know who stole that patent, don't you? Trump's uncle. But I'm not going to get started on Trump, because when you argue with Trump supporters, you're arguing with insanity. And there's no use arguing with insanity, because insanity can't accept logic. Now, please, we've got a federal election coming up soon. Please do your homework. Stop blaming Labor for the debts. I'm very sorry to tell you, whether you're Australian or American, the dollar lost its value in the 1970s. That's why things are so unaffordable. And I'm going to end on this note. Round about 2008, there was, just before that, if you've seen The Big Short, I think it's called, a guy backed or betted that the housing crisis was going to collapse and the banks would get bailed out. I'm also predicting that the economy, the American economy, is going to fail. Trump is going to fail. Trump is not a businessman. And here we are, little serfs, chasing money, and the economy, American, Australian, is going to go bust. Please do not vote for Dutton. Do your homework. Don't blame Labor. Okay? Labor is for the common man. I'm sorry, sadly, the parties have lost their way. So if you are going to vote, vote independent, because at least they don't have a party, a party whip telling them what to do. And if we all got together and started to reject capitalism and its BS, maybe we could have a better society. But power from the people. And Marx said it. Uprising. The people have to revolt. We have to take power back. I had a discussion with my son about Elon Musk. Silly me thought Elon Musk was a smart man. I was trying to say, there's been people and they've been made smart decisions, and that's why they're rich. We're just unlucky serfs. I'll use that word, S-E-R-F. And my son said, Mum, didn't you know Musk's parents were emerald miners? So all these rich people, it's old money. And you and I will never be rich. And here we are trying to just, because of money, which is nothing really. If we're an avatar and made up, so is money. But we're chasing it because it pays the bills and everything else gets sacrificed. I'm not going to repeat myself. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment below what you think of the world today. And please, I know boomers get the blame, but female boomers, and I just happen to be right on the cusp of a boomer, I was told that I'm not a complete woman unless I marry a man. I'm not rich. Boomer men, I married men, and when I got divorced, I didn't think to ask for things. So if you want to have a go, boomer men, okay? All right. Please try to be nice to each other. Try not to judge. Love, light, and blessings. And I'll be back on another day with an entirely different topic. Till then, stay safe and love. Bye.